Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. You know, with Netflix, you always end up getting a real mixed bag. It seems like they just don't know how to hire consistently good people over there, because for every One Piece we get out there, we end up getting a Cowboy Bebop. For every Cyberpunk Edge Runners we get, well, we get a first season of He-Man Masters of the Universe. And well, now we have it looks like their next disastrous dumpster fire out there is none other than Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, because it is now absolutely flopped in the ratings. It has done abysmally bad. Guess what? And the audiences can't stand it either. Is one of those situations where they decided to go against the grain, decided to go against what everybody loved about the character because they were going for a more modern audience take, just like much the video games did of recent era, which have also completely flopped and fallen flat with the audience out there. And it looks like because they decided to go down the exact same vein, the exact same path, they are now getting the exact same results. Color us shocked there. History doesn't just repeat itself, it also rhymes. The games where you tried to modernize Lara Croft ended up falling flat with the audiences and failed in the charts as well. And now you're having the exact same thing happen with your Netflix animation adaptation of the beloved Tomb Raider video game franchise out there. And you are getting exactly what you deserve, Netflix. So we're going to check out this article from thatparkplace.com, getting all the juicy details, see exactly where this thing fell on the Nielsen ratings out there, and of course try to push back against some of the excuses they will end up making for this, and honestly go over some great commentary and absolute scorching review from none other than the critical drinker himself as well. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share it with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Did you give Tomb Raider, the Netflix series, an ad chance, or did you avoid it like a lot of the other audiences out there? What did you think of it if you did see it? Would you like to see somebody actually be able to do this properly? Do you think we will ever get a good adaptation of Tomb Raider from any of these modern studios out there? Let us know what you think about all of that in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to help support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. So from thatparkplace.com and our dear sweet John F. Trent, Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft fails to chart on Netflix's top 10 list. Dun dun dun. Oh, color us shocked there. And this is Netflix's own published numbers, mind you, boys and girls. This is straight from the horse's mouth. Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft appears to be a massive failure as the show failed to chart on Netflix's top 10 list this week. It debuted on the streaming service. Color us shocked there. Remember, this is also the same trailer that got ratioed into oblivion. The show failed to generate even 1.8 million views. Wow, it's almost in the realm of Disney numbers then, although it probably maybe even lower than that at this point, which was the amount of views that Prison Break Season 1 generated for the week of October 7th to October 13th, 2024. Prison Break. Ladies and gentlemen, boy, this show is just really popular with all you rewatchers out there on Netflix. I might actually have to give it a shot because holy cow, this is the second video we have made over Prison Break, a decades-old show that is no longer on the air, beating another show out there that's made for the modern audience. How is that for just beautiful poetic justice? I mean, just glorious, ladies and gentlemen, which is why, once again, a lot of these serials out there are your bread and butter, which is why Hollywood and the streaming services are turning back to them instead of these $300, $400 million insane shows that end up flopping that only give you like 6 episodes. That's why that stuff works. Give us mid of the range, solid series is out there, serial shows like NCIS, like Prison Break, like the rest of the stuff, and you will be successful. Trying to bet the house on something like this, like the Tomb Raider series made for a modern audience, will continue to fail for you, Netflix. But hey, by all means, it's your money. I get to make videos of you and laugh about you. So by all means, keep just pissing it all away. Not only did the show did not chart in its first week, but it failed to chart in its second week as well. Which, what does that mean? The word of mouth was bad, because word of mouth these days, boys and girls, all that matters. If the word of mouth, if the audience is not happy with a show, it will fail. You can tie the scores. It doesn't matter if it's Metacritic for video games. It doesn't matter if it's Rotten Tomatoes. It doesn't matter if it's IMDb. you can tie those scores directly, the audience scores. They can't ever trust the critic scores when it comes to this kind of stuff like this. But the audience score will tell you every single time whether or not a show is going to fail or succeed. And guess what? It's happened all over again because the word of mouth sucked on this show and nobody wanted to watch it. Of note, here's my best one. Of note, the animated series Gundam Requiem for a Vengeance Season 1 did chart with 2.4 million views, which was good enough for 7th place. So, all of you little ones out there who want to go, well, it was an animated show. You know, it was meant more for kids, yada, yada, yada. That's why it really didn't do all that well. Well, guess what? Another animated show, Gundam, which we actually had watched the trailer on this and didn't look half bad. Like, it did just fine. It came in 7th place, whereas your Tomb Raider adaptation for modern audiences couldn't even make it to 10th. That's pathetic, and that means you flopped. That means you failed. It was not surprising that the show did not chart, given initial reactions to the show's first trailer, which was released back in August, were overwhelmingly negative. As of writing, this first trailer has over 17,000 dislikes to just 10,000 likes. That is pathetic, boys and girls. Numerous comments at the time trashed the show. One person wrote, I see Lara is still failing repeatedly. Oh boy, they left the comment section open again. Ha ha. Someone needs to teach Netflix what the definition of a teaser trailer is. Yeah, they really kind of gave away the whole bag in the first one. One person questioned why Lara Croft's iconic pistols were not present in the trailer. Where are her guns? Oh, well, we can't have our heroes using guns because guns are bad and evil, boys and girls, and no one should have them, especially a civilian. We only want the government and the military to have them because the government's the only one that can be trusted with guns, right? Because no government in the history of the world has ever done anything atrocious to an unarmed citizenship, have they? No, that's never, ever happened. Guns are bad. Okay. After the trailer got trashed, showrunner Natasha Yao made things even worse by admitting that she wrote the show for little girls. She was asked by IGN Katie Real if making the series animated followed for it to be seen by younger audiences, who responded, yeah, the hope is always that everyone could watch it. If you played this game and have young kids, you could sit and watch it and enjoy this world with them. It's sort of a gateway drug to playing the video game if you're younger. Yeah. I don't think so, because this is a piss poor representation of Tomb Raider and no one's watching it. The fans hate it and have absolutely destroyed you in every single way. And maybe the idea of trying to make it for kids wasn't the best idea. There's still a lot of violence, but the animation, you're right, does allow for it not to feel as graphic, and so it does create a bigger space for more people to enjoy it, who hopefully they do. I'm writing it for little girls as much as I'm writing it for big girls. You know who you didn't write it for? The Tomb Raider fans out there. The audience that made those games such a successful icon of video game and pop culture history. Yeah, those people. You made it for another modern audience that doesn't exist and doesn't show up for any of your stuff. And guess what? We get confirmation on that once again based on these numbers. Modern audiences don't exist. The only thing that's ever existed is the general audience out there that rejects all of your new, modern, interjected, BS, agenda-driven nonsense. Once again, where's Laura's iconic pistols? Where's her boobs, for that matter? I mean, have you seen Hayley Atwell? I'm going to put her on the thumbnail once again for this video, just like we did the last time, because, hey, she's stacked, she's gorgeous, she's got some common sense, and instead, they gave us this. She literally looks like she's wearing, like, I don't even know. I don't even know at this point. And then, of course, you've got her essentially lesbian best friend here as well. So they came up with all the excuses they could. They could try to knock all of this stuff up. But at the end of the day, like we said, the audience is what matters. The fans is what matters. And guess what? They don't want anything to do with this. While she attempted to do damage control, those who watched the show as fears saw their fears concerned. I think he meant confirmed. While she attempted to do damage control, those who watched the show saw their fears confirmed. The show was an awful 5.3 out of 10 rating on IMDb, with a plurality of all reviews, 27.3 being 1 out of 10, which means basically, essentially, the biggest number of all of the reviews out there, more than any of the rest. Not the majority. Well, yeah, technically the majority. The majority of the reviews were actually just one star. Abysmally bad. Abysmally bad. Abysmally bad. This is one of my favorites. So listen to Critical Drinker destroy this. Critical Drinker also lampooned the show. He said, aside from the god-awful Resident Evil series that I'm still having therapy for, I don't think I've seen any show misuse its source material in such a spectacular fashion before. Tomb Raider is a fucking embarrassment that shames the very name of Lara Croft, sacrifices character and story integrity to work in the tedious and cringy tropes of modern writing, wastes its talented voice cast on clunky dialogue, and rams it all home with shitty animation that looks 20 years out of date. In short, it's boring, a boring and pandering mess that proves once again why Lara Croft absolutely cannot be adapted for modern audiences. Actually, here, good sir. And obviously, they agree. Obviously, the audience agrees. And she goes on and talks about how she had all of these ideas and how she plans on this big universe out there, how she had all these hopes and dreams to go out there and expand it. She had the entire ideas all already worked out in her head. She got it all going for her. She had this big, expansive idea for everything because she was just so sure it was going to be a hit. And guess what? Just like every other egotist, just like every other narcissist out there in modern Hollywood that thinks that they know better than the fans, they know better than the audience, they know better than everybody that ever came before them because they are the smartest, bestest, fastest thing that has ever existed, and they can be like the Most High. They are better than you, boys and girls. They know better than you, and they will educate you on exactly what is the best thing for Tomb Raider out there. Except that's just how they think. That's what they've believed for so very long. They believed they were always right. And now, once again, history has proven them true time and time again, that when you go down this direction and you make something for an audience that it doesn't exist, it falls flat. Instead of catering to the fan base that you already had that was built in, that made your franchise what it was, that made it into $1 billion, a hundreds of millions of dollar franchise that was iconic around the world, you instead tried to create something for yourself. You thought you knew better, and you thought the audience and the gamers and all the fans out there were just a bunch of dumb retards that would just slop up and eat whatever kind of trash you put in the gutter. Well, guess what, boys and girls? That is not how things work out. Once again, the fans, the audiences were always right to begin with. We have always been smarter than you, and we are the ones that decide whether or not your franchises succeed or fail. So here's a strange concept that most of you don't seem to recognize. You need to make things for the audience that exists. Lean in to the customers you already have. Because if you can't make your hardcore audience happy, you are certainly not going to make the general audiences happy. And now Netflix, once again, you have gotten yourself another flop on your hands. And Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, all made for a modern audience and for all the girls out there. And guess what? You found out again that doesn't exist. After all, you did it to yourself, and you're getting exactly what you deserve.